All right, welcome to the practice quiz for Unit 3. I put Unit 2 by accident, so it's Unit 3, Lessons 1 through 5. So that's my bad. I'll fix that for the quiz tomorrow. So this is me running through this with you. And the first thing we do here is we have an 8 that's going to the bottom of the fraction. So the 8's going to the bottom of the fraction. So that is the rule where we cross the line and change the sign. So the 8 down here would be a 1. So if you up here, what was it? Well, it would be -1. So there's the answer to that one. Number 2 is just the basic first rule. When you multiply like bases, you add the exponents. So you have 4 to the third and 4 to the something. So I'm missing a 2 there, right? So there's a 2 there. 3 plus 2 makes 5. Number 3 is the rule number 6 here. If the exponents are the same, you can multiply the bases. That's what that rule says. So those two multiply together. 5 times 6 is 18. So this doesn't change. It's just 2. Number 4, if the area is 75 square feet, then what's the length of the side? Now I don't need a decimal answer for this, so if 75 is the area, that means each side is the square root, right? The root of the square root of 75. So the side length is the square root of 75 and then feet. So that's the answer right there. All right, so we're going to write this without the notation. With the radical notation, with the radical symbol. So I'm going to make the radical symbol, and then this means right here, right, the 1/3 power is cube root. So all this is just the cube root of 20. Now you don't have to tell me the decimal approximation. You don't have a calculator. I'm just asking for the notational thing. Square root is the opposite of squaring. So if you take the square root, you get 30, or not 36. What am I doing? You get 6. So 6 times 6 makes 36. But when you have an equation like this, you also have to consider that a negative times a negative is also a positive. So 6 and -6 are the two answers for that one. Backside, we're simplifying number 7. So this is where you have to understand the exponents E-I-E-I-O. So I suggest always taking care of the index first and then the exponent second. So the index is 2, that means square root. So I'm doing the square root of 4, and then I'm raising it to the 3rd power. So that's how I'd interpret this. So that 2 means square root. So the index is 2. If you need to put a little 2 there, if that helps you, you can do that. And then that would be 2. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. So the answer is 8. Now we're supposed to write it out with the radical notation. So I make my radical symbol. And then that's the index, right? E-I-E-I-O. So there's the 5. There's a 5. And then we're raising it to the 2nd power. So I would say 5th root of 25. So that's the answer to that one. So some more rules here. When you divide, right? When you divide like bases, you subtract the exponents. So 3. 8 minus 3 is 5. Power to a power, you multiply the exponents. So this would be 3 again. 3 times 2 is 6. And then cross the line, change the sign, and it's 2. So 3 twos and -1s. And then this one here. So we know the side of the square is 37 centimeters. So the other side is square root of 37 centimeters. So to find the area, you multiply the square root times the square root. So it's the square root of 37 times the square root of 37. Well, that's just 37, and then centimeters squared. So that's my area. So when you do area, it's the two sides multiplied together. But when they're the same, you square it. And so we're squaring a square root, which is just the number 37. All right, so this one here is kind of the negative exponent business. So we bring up the 4 to the top, right? So the answer is negative, but then we do the E-I-E-I-O. So that's the exponent, the 5 is the index. So x would be -3/5. So that's the answer to that one. All right, under 5 minutes. Woohoo!